Our gospel reading today comes from the 15th chapter now of Luke. This is before the story of the prodigal son. There are two stories about lost things. And these are those two stories, the lamb and the coin, as Jesus begins to move to an understanding of God's deep love and God's committedness to seeking us out, finding us even in our most broken moment, in our most lostness, if such a word exists. I invite you to follow along as we share this story. Now, by this time, a lot of men and women of doubtful reputation were hanging around Jesus, listening intently. Now, the Pharisees and religion scholars were not pleased at all. They growled, "He takes in sinners and eats meals with them, treated them like old friends." And their grumbling triggered this story. Now, wouldn't you leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after the lost one until you found it? And when found, you can be sure you would put it across your shoulders, rejoicing. And when you got home, calling your friends and neighbors saying, "Celebrate with me. I found my lost sheep." Count on it. There's more joy in heaven over one sinner's rescued life than over 99 good people in no need of rescue. Or imagine a woman who has 10 coins and loses one. Won't she light a lamp and scour the house, looking in every nook and cranny until she finds it? And when she finds it, you can be sure she'll call her friends and neighbors, "Celebrate with me. I found my lost coin." You can count on it. That's the kind of party God's angels throw every time one lost soul turns to God. If you're like me, there are just sometimes you can't remember where you put it. It really doesn't matter what it is, but I need it, and I need it now. And I just had my hand on it. And so I'll retrace my steps. That'll do it. I'll find where I've been, because certainly I just had it in my hand. It can't be far. And a half hour later, now I'm really hot. Now I'm so mad, and the worst thing is, I'm mad at me. I don't have anyone else to be mad at. Because I had it in my hand, it was right there. And now I'm late. Ooh, I hate this. Those are the frustrating times. But has there ever been someone or something precious to you that you've lost? In college, I had a dear friend. I'd love to say that it was both our faults, but it was mostly mine. I got in a pretty big head, and I screwed that relation up, and I lost his friendship. And I always looked up to him. His name was Jack. He's one of the most important people on my journey of faith to discover Jesus for myself. He did some great things, some great selfless things. And I got pretty big-headed about the things I was involved in college and this accolade and that celebration. And I really began to believe the lie. And I pushed him away because I was just so important. Just ask me. And I lost his friendship. I lost it. He just came to me one day and said, I'm just not going to take any more of it from you. I wish you well on your life, but we're done. We're just done, Jim. That'll sober you right up. 2 years went by. 2 years went by, and then he walked back into my life. I wish I could tell you I had been searching for it, but I wasn't. I had been thinking about him now and again, and boy, I regretted some of the choices I made about that relationship. But you need to know the celebration I literally did call my friends, the others from our group, and said, you need to come. It's great. Jack is back. We're connected. We're having a great time. What a great time. What a great thing this is. What a wonderful celebration we had. My life was so diminished when I'd made the foolish choices I had made that had destroyed that relationship and reduced my life that much of that by that measure. The lost and the found. It's amazing what gets lost. You ever go to lost and found in a school? How can you not know you don't have any more socks on? How can you get home and go, well, I'll be doggone. Somehow I lost my socks. What? We are very blessed. This coat drive is going to be fantastic. The leadership's in place. They're planning it for the weeks. For weeks. Yeah. The weeks have, for weeks, been planning this. And Lou's in there giving her expertise from the year she's done it. But we were so blessed the other day is now a month ago, we got a call from one of the area schools, not from our district, from one of the other districts, will remain nameless. And this woman said, I work at the school and I've gotten permission. We've got a bunch of coats. Now, just a month ago, so this is like August, right? So they've had plenty of time. They had the whole school year after winter left, June, 2 weeks before school let out. But they brought over these Columbia jackets. How can you lose your jacket in winter? Didn't you notice things are a little bit colder getting on the bus than they were when you got off the bus? It's amazing what gets lost. How could they lose that, we say? But we lose precious things. Here's good news to you. You cannot be lost by God. God knows you in this moment. God knows you limitlessly. God knows you eternally. God knows you fully. Isn't that good news? And this God seeks desperately to have a relationship with you. I wonder how the Pharisees felt. It's something to be one of the 99. Hey, what's the deal? Aren't I important too? You went out into the woods. Who knows what could have happened to you out there? We're nice and in the pen where we're supposed to be. Thank you very much. And it's the nutcase who goes running off into the woods that you go after. What about us 99? There's a question that comedians start with it when they're doing routines. Anyone have children? And the hands go up. Anyone have more than one children? Hands go up. Good. I want to speak to the real parents. Anyone have more than 2 kids? Now that's when it gets exciting because that's when they start outnumbering you. Right? Up till then, kind of a tag team thing. After that, they outnumber you. Which one of us, at the loss, at the injury of a child, you go right to that child? And what do? You invite the other kids to come and attend as a family, it's called. As a family, we're called to one another. Jesus comes to each of us in our broken place, in our lost place. Do you know what's amazing? That in that relationship I began my sermon with, and the coin that we heard the story of, and the sheep, they never find their way back. They never find their way back. I remember one time, Brett got away from us at one of his t-ball, you don't call soccer t-ball, one of his little pee-wee soccer games. He was running around and I was coaching and this thing and that and the other thing, and all of a sudden, Brett's not around. Goodness knows where that child went to. There is no off button on that kid, even today. So off he goes. Brett never found his way back. Jodell found him. That's good news. God is searching for you. God says, I will go to the furthest place and meet you there in that broken place, just to carry you on my shoulders back. Even when we're found out, even when the game's up, even when the truth be told. When our girls were 5 and 3, I lived, the parsonage was a block away from the church. And there are certain rules in our household. And I noticed on the Old Testament reading, one of the words you can't say in our house was on the screen. The S word. Stupid. Can't say that in our house. Not allowed. And one day, I was walking back from the church, and I came at the end of the day and walked in the house, and it's a split level. So as soon as you go in the house, you either got to go up or you got to go down. And sitting at the top of the stairs were 2 little girls smiling like Cheshire cats. Like they had caught the canary, just beaming. You could tell they couldn't wait till Dad got home. And I said, well, hello, ladies. Hi, Daddy. What's up? Mommy said the S word. And it wasn't stupid. How come moms always get thrown under the bus? Like Jodell just did in my sermon. No matter in that broken place, no matter when we've been found out, no matter when the truth is told, as we find ourselves thrown away from God, cast aside because of the choices we've made, or we've wandered off into the woods. You know, I meet with couples who are struggling in their relationship. I have to be honest with them. I rarely say, well, you know, what we're going to do is this, that thing, and things should be fine. You know, for some reason, and we're all the same, you don't come to the pastor until things are deep in the mud. You are deep in the woods. Well, you can't go that far in the woods and pretend to yourself that you can turn around and step out. It's going to take a while to get out. It took you a while to get this far in. But here's the great good news. God's not calling to you from the edge of the woods. God's not calling to you from the lip of the abyss. God has gone there. God has met you in the darkest place, in the deepest forest, and said, I have you. Here, get on my shoulders. I'll carry you home. I'll bring you back to the community. I'll bring you back to the other 99. I'll bring you back where you know where there's love. I pick up my child who scraped its knee, and I carry it in, and it's the other child I remember who kissed that knee. I'll bring you back into that community. That's what we have with each other. That's the beauty of it. The lost coin is joined with the other coins in the purse. I have them all, God says. I have them all. Rejoice with me. I don't know how far away you are right now with God. Because I don't know about you, but I rarely run from God. I kind of meander away. I find myself taking and then I get busy, and it's kind of a slow wander until I turn around and I realize, oh my. And God meets me there. God meets you in this morning. Rejoice. Good news to you. In your lostness, you don't have to find your way back. God's with you. God has found you. The lost is found. You are God's very own. The shepherd's arms pick you up. The woman brushes away the dust and picks you out of the dust. Picks that coin up out of the, adds it to the purse. You are God's very own. And you cannot go where God cannot find you. And you are loved. And you are collected. And you are brought home. Amen.